Black people have a lot of superpowers. What's the superpower that black people have that we don't realize that we have?
Well, the superpower that I know for sure that we have, that I think that we do know, is resilience. No matter what, you know, people try to bring us down in any type of way, and we come back, and that's why a lot of people don't like us, because no matter what, you can't tear us down for long. You may get us down for a little bit, but we don't stay there.
So, how are you doing today, Kiki and Beast? Let me ask you a question. What superpowers do you think that the black people have in the world?
Hey, that's an amazing question. Talking about the black people having superpower, let's discuss that, because I've been seeing that black people have been torn down for decades. Black people have been stepped on for decades. Black people have been, they say that black people are inferior. They say that black people, they are cursed. But believe me, let me tell you something. Black people have a lot of superpower, but I'm not going to talk about all of the superpower. I just want to discuss about black superpower, that's black resilience, for example, or black adaptability, for example. Let me touch on those, because when you look at black people, for example, black Americans, they were enslaved for more than 400 years. First, there's something that we call transatlantic slave trade, where where African Americans, they were enslaved, they were chained, taken to USA. Okay, so they crossed that sea to the other side. But even upon crossing this ocean, a lot of them died, but a lot of them survived. And those who survived, they went through that trauma of the ocean. They reaching America, they were taken to plantations. You know, with that, the weakness they had, you know, for that, crossing that ocean without food, without anything, being chained, they went direct to the cotton, and they built America from scratch. That is one of the superpowers, okay? And I know there's some creators here where you want to play them here. So let's watch these creators first, and then I continue as Kenyan Beast with Michael Memontari here at Likurupu.
And the more that I think about it, black people do have superpowers. It just makes sense why they would want to keep us down so long. Like, we literally have superpowers, and we don't even recognize it, but we all talk about it. Our ancestors used to do voodoo, hoodoo, and they taught us that was evil. They wanted to erase history and make us worship their God. We speak to each other through telekinesis. Like, we literally make a face. Like, I could be like, and like, you know, make a face, and you know what I'm talking about, because we here with each other. Not only that, have y'all seen those videos of like the people who are moving items with their hands, and like with their mind, they're pushing items? That shit real. We are literally powerful, you know what I mean? We're telekinesis. We have intuition out this world. We have spiritual abilities. We are psychic. We have a direct connection to ancestors. That's why our faith is so strong. Like, we go to church and everything, but because we have a strong connection to God. And it just makes sense. It makes sense why they want to, you know, teach us to hate ourselves and basically go against everything that we're supposed to be as a people. They want to put redlining and things in place for us to not have any power whatsoever. Stay with me here. Stay with me. I promise you it's making sense if you think about it. Somebody pointed out, they said the way the dolphins talk and the way that these tribes in Africa, like the ones that are still like not, haven't been tampered with, they talk in clicks, you know what I mean? And the dolphins talk the same way. This lady really asked a crazy question the other day. She said, what if they speaking the same thing? Or what if they can understand each other? And I don't know. It just feels like black people have a superpower that I don't know if other people have or not, but it just makes sense. We have so much going on, and you, a black person, you watching this, you know that you've had a dream before it happened, and it literally told you everything that was going to be mapped out. Or black people, we be having dreams about fish if somebody get pregnant. Like, what? That's how you know we are connected to a higher calling. Because what kind of message, if you wake up in everyday life, you getting a message directly to your dreams, and it happens in real life in physical form. It manifests. Anyways, what are y'all thoughts on this? Because like it's got to be a reason, right?
Black people have superpowers. Let me tell you why. Think about it, yeah. If life is a game, then being black is like the highest level, like your game, like the player of the game, like the highest form of the creation of the hilly-pillification. Like it just, if you think about it, yeah, being black, yeah, in any industry, whether it's rapping, football, being an athlete, influencing, modeling, whatever it is, they're just winning. They take everyone's gal, they got beautiful skin, they can eat anything, and like it's their genes, it's their DNA. Like they're just winning. I just, like, it's not fair, but like it's fair because it makes sense. Like if reincarnation is real, I can't lie to you. I'm gonna be like, yo, this time I wanna be black. Like when I incarnate again, like I wanna feel what it feels like. Get me, like, bro.
I'm seriously convinced that black people are superheroes. Black people are superheroes, and laughing is their kryptonite. Cause anywhere I go, I can go anywhere in the world, and I can see some black people. We can read each other's mind. I promise you, it can be some crazy shit going on. We'll be in the corner and we just look at each other. We having a full-blown conversation without even talking. We get that look like. And that person can understand exactly what I said without me moving my lips. You can't tell me that ain't no magic, baby. You can't tell me that ain't no superpower. And then the reason I say black people kryptonite is laughing. I haven't been in a room full of black folks where they just sit still and if a black person sits still and laugh, it's fake. They be slapping their knee, grabbing you, pulling you, standing up, running around, all theatrics, just acting a fool, moving back and forth, holding their hands in the air, laughing, clapping their hands together, crying. They'll start crying, laughing. Black people laugh so hard they stomach be hurt. They be getting a six-pack. They just my thesis, you know, that's just what I think.
Did you know that African Americans are the only ethnic group in America who lost their entire cultural identity, yet created the most influential culture in the world? When Chinese Americans immigrate, they keep speaking Mandarin, wave the Chinese flag, and cook traditional dim sum and Peking duck. Italian Americans preserve their language, honor the Italian flag, and maintain authentic pasta traditions connecting them to their homeland. Russian Americans speak Russian, respect the Russian flag, and cook borscht and pierogi from their ancestral recipes. But enslaved Africans had everything stripped away, their languages forbidden, tribal symbols destroyed, traditional foods banned. They arrived with nothing but chains and trauma. Yet from this complete cultural devastation, they didn't just survive, they revolutionized the world. They created jazz, blues, gospel, hip-hop, and R&B, music that now dominates global culture. They transformed scraps into soul food that defines American cuisine. While other groups preserved their heritage through unbroken tradition, African Americans demonstrated the greatest cultural resilience in human history, taking total destruction and creating entirely new traditions that enriched the entire planet.
You know what I just fucking thought about? Y'all remember back in 2020, was it 2020? When it was like at midnight, like all the black people gonna get their fucking superpowers and shit? I just thought about this fucking shit. Ever since then, I've seen so many fucking black people come out of like spiritualism and like get into hoodoo and woo-woo and voodoo and get into like spiritual like tarot cards and oracle decks and talking about orishas and all this fucking shit. And I'm like, bro, and I started thinking, I'm like, bro, was our fucking superpower us like the ancestors being like, boop, remember who you are, remember where the fuck you came from? Because ever since, like, I just fucking thought about that. And now everybody talking about, oh, I'm clairvoyant, I'm this, I'm that, and all this fucking shit. Bro, nigga, we got our superpowers. Y'all literally just need to open your fucking eyes to that shit. We got our superpowers.
I don't mean to say this like to be disrespectful, and maybe this is, some people are gonna think this sounds dumb, but I feel like there's a deeper reason why, you know, people of color and specifically the Black community have been relentlessly persecuted. Like, I mean, just the things that happened during slavery alone, like, were insane. But I don't know, the more I learn about Black history and the ways that, you know, people who literally worked in the government, like the CIA, all these different people in power were trying to ruin the Black community. And it makes me think, dude, I feel like, is there something more going on here than just racism? Because it's like, come on, you're telling me you're doing all of this stuff just because you don't like someone's skin color? I feel like, what if, I have this theory that, like, what if Black people have some type of superpower? Like, what if they have, I don't know, if they're just born with something very valuable that we don't really know about, but maybe, you know, like I said, these people, these rich people and these people in power, maybe they figured it out a long time ago, and maybe that's why they were like, oh, we have to, like, get rid of them, blah blah blah. I don't know, I feel like maybe they have something special that we are not taught about that is linked to them being people of color, you know? And I've seen some Black creators come on here and try to explain how special it is to have melanin in your skin and how it has all these different properties. But I don't know, I just feel like I have this theory that this goes so much deeper than maybe a lot of us realize, because I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna go out of your way for all these hundreds and hundreds of years to try to ruin one group of people over something as silly as, oh, their skin is a different color. Like, I feel like there's something that we don't know. I'm telling you, there's something special about them that they don't want us to know. Okay, this is just something that I've been thinking about recently, and I'm like, maybe if there are some Black creators that maybe they already made a video and I just didn't see it, I don't know, but like, I don't know, maybe this sounds dumb. Like, or maybe this is like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but, you know, it's just something
Do y'all remember that girl that was on Twitter and she was saying, I think this was like 2021, she was saying that on December 21st, there was going to be some like special event and Black people were going to get superpowers. Now, a lot of people dragged the fuck out of her and I feel like that was a little bit extra. But when I think about it, I think if Black people were to have a superpower, it would be telepathy. Because if y'all really think about it and you pay attention, don't nobody non-verbally communicate the way that Black people do. We always talking to each other, making faces, or just looking, and we know what the other person is trying to say. And I've had so many instances where I was with a relative or one of my friends or something, and we would all be in the car or just be together, and I would think something, and right before I was going to say it, somebody else said it. And I'm like, okay, there's no way they knew that I was going to say that shit. But it wasn't a coincidence either. I don't believe in coincidences. So she might have been on to something. I just don't think it was going to be like an event that made it happen. But yeah, Black people, we might have something going on.
If the white male is going to rule, then he must crush the Black male.
Yeah.
White male, you are wrong.
Yeah.
Because if in reality, because of white supremacy, you believe that in order for you to survive as a white man, you have to crush a Black man's existence, then in crushing our existence, you are doing something to your own. Because ultimately, no power on earth,
no power,
for any long period of time can keep any man from attaining what God himself has willed for that man.
If you are a Black person and you are just really fatigued by what is going on in this world and you need to pick me up, just go look up cultural continuity in a search bar. It mind-blowing. Like, I was feeling so like just over this country, and then I was reminded of who I am. Please go look up cultural continuity.
So those creators that you have seen, they are just supporting my idea of Black superpower, of Black resilience, of Black adaptability. And I started talking about how Black people, or how Black Americans, they were enslaved and taken to the America, and taken to the cotton farms, taken to the farms, and they built America from scratch. Now, the superpower comes where these Black people, these African Americans, they survived. They survived the transatlantic slave. They survived the ocean. They survived the ocean, and with without eating, without anything, and with that weak body, they were still taken to the cotton farms, to the farms Okay? And from there, from scratch, they build the America that we are seeing right now. And that is one of the history that white America cannot escape. America was built by black folks, was built by African Americans. We can say even maybe African immigrants, not African immigrants. I can say like immigrants, some immigrants like Asians, Latinos, they build America too. But bigger part of building America, it is black people. Superpower comes where you are subjected into evolic action and you still stand strong. You still stand strong at the cotton farms. Do you know what was happening on those cotton farms? Black people or the African Americans, they were singing hymns, they were singing songs, and that's where black culture started shaping itself. They were singing, they were they had coded message that was being hidden on their hair, so they somehow they were putting their hair as afro. That's where culture, the fashion culture begins with. The music culture came from the cotton farm. Fashion culture came from the cotton farm. The language, the Creole, it comes from the cotton farm. This just shows the black resilience, the persistence to stand and to say, you know what, we are not falling for this. We are going on and on to the next level. That is a black superpower. When I sit down as Kenyan based from Nairobi, Kenya, and I think of black Americans, I think of something. I think of a miracle. I think of a chosen people of God. I think of a people who endured evils, who endured a lot of pain so that African immigrants can survive in America. I'm seeing people who paved ways for Asians America. I'm seeing people who paved ways for Latinos. I'm seeing people who paved ways for everyone, even for white people, for white America, who are enjoying the America that is there right now. When I talk about black resilience, I talk about when slavery was abolished. Slavery did not end. They just abolished slavery and they said slavery is not there. But unless you as a black person, you have done something wrong. So when you are found in a mistake, you are being enslaved too. So slavery never ended because we have a number of things that followed. Emancipation, let's talk about segregation. Let's talk about a lot of these policies that were there. But black people, they stood tall. In 1865, if I'm not wrong, or 18 something, they fought for civil rights. Civil rights was not for them alone. Civil rights was for everyone. Rights for voting, rights for women, rights for these immigrants to vote. Imagine being enslaved. Imagine being stepped on and still you are fighting for rights that will help a lot of people. That is superpowers. You tell me one race that can do something like that. You tell me which people. Tell me just take the white America, put a white person here. Just put him on something small. He will be broken. Because what white America right now are crying of is a quarter of a quarter or inch of an inch of an inch of all of what black Americans went through. So when you talk about superpower, my brother, we are talking about black resilience. When you talk about superpower, we are talking about black adaptability. When you talk about superpower, we are talking about black joy when there is chaos. When you talk about superpower, we talk about how black Americans have influenced the culture and everything. When you talk about superpower, we are talking about black Americans. They are the superpower themselves. They are the miracles. They are the God's chosen. And that's what I'm just going to say about this video, about black superpower. Okay? Thank you so much for welcoming me in Likurupu. I appreciate your channel. Thank you.